All right, so I did a video a little while back about how we test on Meta. And I got a bunch of questions, and I realized that I was just rambling. There was no documentation, no notes, no diagrams of how we do it. So I figured I would just record a simple video here and then just literally walk you guys through how we do it. So the first thing is we don't test on Instagram. We do not test on Instagram. Why? Well, super simple. People have more time on Facebook. So you're going to be like, no, there's way more time that people spend on TikTok or on, Instagram than they do on Facebook. Possibly. Well, probably actually, but really the user behavior of somebody on Facebook is longer periods of engagement. They're ingesting content, they're reading, they're engaging. It's very different than like the couple minutes on Instagram or TikTok while your wife or your girlfriend runs to the bathroom, and so you just jump on there for a second. So we start with Facebook. That's all we do. Because if it's not working on Facebook, then we're not going to get the scale that we need. So how do we test? Let's talk about just sort of the general structure first. So first, we do mobile news feed only. If it doesn't work on mobile news feed, you're not going to get scale. Sure, you can run small traffic to right-hand side, or desktop converts better, so on and so forth. We know the vast majority is on mobile news feed, and so that is where we're going to test. Next thing, Wi-Fi only. Why? Because people are typically at home on Wi-Fi. So now I just took a bunch of people, I put them on Facebook, and I'm like, only when you're connected to Wi-Fi, I know that you're going to be at home, which means you probably have longer periods where you're not interrupted, and so you can buy. Shit, you could be at work, you're probably on Wi-Fi or internet anyway, you're not on cell service. So then what do? We test on a 2% lookalike audience of buyers. Shit, I thought that lookalikes were dead. This is only for testing. So when you're scaling, you can run 10% audiences and just go super, super broad. But when you're testing, I just want to keep it super, super tight and 2%. Your click costs are going to be higher, but your performance should be better. So now let's just jump into the campaign structure. So I have a campaign. We're going to call it Apple. And a campaign equals an angle. So basically when I think of, this is obvious for most of you, but when I think of a campaign, I'm like, that is just the one angle. And so when I look at the aggregate of campaign A versus campaign B, I know that apples are doing better than bananas. And so in the aggregate, that's what I'm going to do. And we run ad set budgets only for testing because really what I want is even distribution through the campaign. So I'm going to do, here's literally how we set up a campaign. So we always put on in the beginning. We use a rule in Facebook to turn shit on at 4 a.m. Eastern. So that you guys see that, that's on equals a Facebook rule, turn on at 4 a.m. Eastern if campaign name contains on. Super simple. Then I have the date. So today is the 21st. So 042125. And then the name of the campaign is going to be Apple. Let's do Apple slices. And we also will put in something like test so that it's very easy for me to look at all the data comparing campaigns that are scale campaigns to campaigns that are test. Nothing wildly complicated, not required, just what we do. So then I'm going to run 4 ad sets. So those ad sets are going to be headline 1, ad text 1, like that. And so I'm just basically going to be testing 2 headlines, 2 ad texts, and 3 images. So those are going to be that. Whoops. Headline 2, ad text 2. That's it. And then each ad set has the same 3 images. Typically a face. Why do we do a face? Well, we do a face because faces are generally pretty good at stopping the user. Is that going to be your winner? Probably not. But what is the goal of this campaign? The goal of this campaign is to find the winning headline and the winning ad text. Now, we may run multiple of these, right? So kind of different angles. So apple pie, apple slices, apple sauce, apple green apples, red apples, whatever. And so all I'm doing here is I'm trying to see how does the angle do, and then how do my headlines and ad text work. After we get this campaign working, meaning we found a winning headline or ad text or multiple, then what we're going to do is we're going to switch the ad sets from a text test to a creative test. So we're going to basically then go, let's say 5 ad sets. And those ad sets are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, image 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to put the combination of winning headline and ad text in the ad set. And those are going to be our ads. Next common question. What testing budget do you use? Simple. So let's assume for round numbers, I got a $100 CPA target. Let's assume for a moment that I'm an affiliate, which I'm not, but if I was, as an affiliate, I need to hit $90 CPA to make a margin. So again, like, where do you set your budget? Day 1, budget per ad set equals 1 times my target CPA. And you're like, what about that thing where it was like you want your budget to be 3 times your CPA? Remember this? So ideal budget equals 3 times your target CPA. Pretty standard. Everybody knows this. However, what we do is we look at initiate checkout events, which typically run at a 3-to-1 ratio. So what this means is if I'm looking for a $90 CPA, I'm really looking for a $30 initiate checkout. So I get 3 times the data for the same amount of spend. Super interesting way to be efficient with budget. Before iOS 14, we never did this because the Facebook pixel was just so good. We only focused on purchases. But when shit got harder, we had to focus on this. Now, there's other stuff to take a look at, like my CPMs are too high, my CPCs are too high, my land or CTR is too low. All of those things you also need to take into consideration. This is just the first step of that framework and how we do it. I typically like to run kind of like 4 times the initiate checkout. So instead of 90, I'm probably running to like 120. The other thing we do is we day part on testing. Typically, this is 4 a.m. Eastern to max 1 p.m. Eastern as well. What's crazy to me, I don't understand it, but I've been doing this a long time. Most purchases are made in the morning. I don't know who the hell's shopping in the morning, not me, but a lot of people are. And so to be efficient with budget, we literally keep it tighter. So we are pretty much done by 10 a.m. Pacific, which is 1 p.m. Eastern. Here's the other thing. So some people are like, oh, but if it's doing really well, like I'm going to let the campaign keep running all day. Like I'll just watch it hour over hour and so on and so forth. That's fine. But here's my argument. If your campaigns are still running past 1 p.m. Eastern, whatever project you are doing, you are going to continually be distracted and you're going to go back and keep checking your phone, keep checking the stats, keep refreshing. And so now you're going to lose your efficiency in the afternoon where you should be doing something that is driving the business. And instead, your day's going to be like Swiss cheese because you're not going to be home. You're going to keep going back, checking these campaigns when really all you're doing is looking for, I don't know, 5 conversions more, let's say 6 conversions. If you're making $10, that's $50 for that distraction over the rest of the day. What a fucking waste of time. So don't do that. Anyway, so we're looking at those initiate checkout events. So, all right, it does pretty well. What do we do the next day? Well, I'm going to push the budgets a little bit. How much? It kind of depends. 20%, maybe you could do that. It depends how good it was. And it depends how low your starting budgets are, which is a function of the CPA and then in theory your initiate checkout. If everything looks really good, I might double it, but I'm not doing more than that. To be safe, and I think the right thing to do is you should increase it by like 20%. Do I only increase the winners? No. I generally, if that campaign in the aggregate is doing well, I push all of them. I will increase all 4 ad sets. Because I literally want to know, like you could have an ad set today that's spent and it just had none, and then tomorrow it gets like 5, right? And so I just want to push because I want certainty in the data and I want to know, and I'm willing to push budgets a little bit and gamble a little bit here. So here's an interesting stat out of all of the data that we pulled when you're considering your creatives. What does a winner look like? First, a winner has not lost more than 1 time in the first 3 days. And a winner has not lost more than 2 times in the first 7 days. We live and die by this. Nothing makes me, well, I'm sure there's something that makes me more mad, but if I look at campaigns and it's been running for like 5 days or 7 days and half of those days are losers or more, but it's close, but it lost, don't care. Like, we don't make money when we're close to making money. We only make money when we actually make money. So if it's close and it's just not hitting, like at some point you just got to give up. We know that most ads are not going to be a winner. So move on. And maybe you're close. Make a small tweak. Maybe make a slight variation. Change the hook. Change the lead. Change the close. Change the avatar. Whatever it is. So then you think about, all right, well then how do we scale? So when do we scale? Well, we scale, let's move this up. We scale when I have 15 to 20 conversions per day on a single testing ad set. And then what we'll do, let's assume if I only have 1 or 2, let's say, 1 or 2 winners, then I drop it in a CBO, and that CBO has only the couple winners. My budget will be about $1,000. I'm running 10%. All placements, 10% lookalike, all placements. But then here's what else we do. We also do open, we also do 5, and we also do 2. So what we did here is we took those winners and I effectively created a CBO by increasing the audience sort of buckets. Right? And now we will push that and see if that shit scales. The secret to scaling on Facebook today, that's not how it was yesterday, and that's not how it's going to be tomorrow. But the secret to scaling on Facebook is multiple winners, like a bunch of them, all running in a large CBO. That's how we do it. I'm sure there's a bunch of questions. I did it fast. I saw some comments on Twitter, so I was like, let me just whip this up. And yeah, hope it helps.